Namaste friends and dear students. Last time we talked about the concept of Drishti in Netra Chikitsa, and today I am with you to share my views on Abhishan. Abhishan basically is a concept in Netra Chikitsa, not merely a Sarvagat Netra Rog. This word Abhishan has been explained under Sarvagat Netra Rog, the disease which involved the all parts of the eye, such as mandal, sandhis, and intraocular structures as well. Abhishan is considered to be the root cause of almost all eye diseases except traumatic diseases by all the ancient scholars of Ayurveda. And it is warned that if not treated timely, it may lead to more severe diseases like Adhimant and Hatadhimant, which means complete irreversible blindness. Therefore, a thorough understanding and the knowledge of Abhishand syndrome is essential for a Netra Visharad for proper and effective treatment of the eye disorders. So let us understand the word Abhishand first. This word is made up of two separate words. One is Abhi and the other is Syanda. There are many worldly meaning of this word Abhi, but the relevant meanings which suits to our disease concept and Abhishan, these are three meanings. Number one, mainly Mukhya Rupen, excessive, Ati, and overall, Sarvata. And Syand or Shand, it is very well defined in our Ayurveda literature. By Bhagavad it says discharge from all supraclavicular channels. The other meaning given by Acharya Sushruta is Shleshmana Sravanam, discharge of Shleshma, thick discharge, and it is in wake for the disease of the eye that is known as Abhishand Netra Rog. So mainly where there is a discharge from the eye and it is excessive discharge. The cardinal feature of this disease is reflected by this worldly meaning of Abhishand. The word Syand is used as a synonym of Abhishan as well as a clinical symptom, but has become in vogue for eye disease owing to its pathological importance, cause of all eye disorders. Thus, an ocular pathology where discharges from the eye are the main or the cardinal feature is Abhishand Sarvagat Netra Rog. Discharge in excess from all parts of the eye or impending state of discharge which is just going to start can be a pathological state variant in Abhishand Netra Rog. So one thing I want to clear in before I go to the concept further, there is another word under the Netra Rog in Sushruta Samhita, that is Netra Vishad, which has been reflected as a contagious disease in Nidhan Sthan. This word is also very close to Abhishand, but it is different from Abhishand Netra Rog. Why? Because Netra Abhishand is having a different origin. This is a agantuj or exogenous in origin, whereas Abhishand is a endogenous disease which happens due to the built-up of samprapti, built-up of a pathogenesis which leads to the discharge from the Netragat Srotas, body channels, and ultimately when the discharge from the Netragat Srotas Sira Dhamni, etc., then it is termed as Avishand Netra Rog. So it should be considered different rather than Avishand itself. Netra Avishand is referred in ophthalmic, as I told you, whereas it is a Avishand is a endogenous. I have already explained. The clinical picture of Netra Avishand nears to Avishand, discharge per eye, that too variable according to external causative factor, which type of Bhuta Vishang is there, whether it is virus, bacteria, fungi, etc. Hence, term Netra Avishand is quite different than that of the Avishand and Avishand Rog. So, from this worldly meaning and definition of Avishand, now let us understand the disease Avishand. Sarv Netra Rog Karitv, the causative factor of all eye diseases due to Avishand, a serious direct complication to the vision threatening disease Adimant leading to irreversible blindness Hadadimant disease. Also, directive for adopting systemic treatment protocol in Avishand Netra can be better understood by putting some light on word Avishand further. In Ayurveda literature, Avishandina or Avishandi are a group of etiological factors. They come under the drugs, they come under the foods, regimens, and the factors which causes the following type of pathological process in the body is termed as Avishandi or Avishandana. Avishandi dosh dhatu mal srotasam kled prapti jananam. Whatever the causes which causes kledan of dosh dhatu mal and srotas. What does here mean the kledan? Kledan means thick fluid discharge which involves the all body dhatus and dosh as well as mal and the macro and micro channels of the body. Then another meaning given by Acharya Dalan on Netra Chikitsa 40th chapter, Avishandi Uplebkari. It causes a layer wherever this Avishandi pathology is there. If it is in the GIT, it causes a uplep or a anointing like process, or it causes the surface covered with some thick discharge. And in Bhagavad Samhita as well as in Sushut, Avishandi Mukhya Rupen Syandati. When this Kledkari and Uplepkari Samprapti goes in Dhatu, Dosh, Mal and Srotas, then due to this Samprapti, mainly there is a discharge from the structures wherever this Kledan or Uplepkari Samprapti has taken place. And ultimately this Avishandin or discharge like of pathological clinical picture is due to the malinyat srotasam sruti rupam shleshanam kroti ityartham. Due to this Syandan, Kledan or Uplotkari pathology, the srotas, the body channels, which include Sira, Dhamni, all srotas, even at cellular level, there is a discharge of Shleshmanam. Here the Shleshma does not mean the kaf dhatu. Here the Shleshmana means a discharge, thick fluid discharge of the body, which is not the body required material or not the body nourishing material. It is Shleshmana, in my viewpoint, is quite different from that of kapha. Whereas kapha is a dhatu, is a type of energy in the body, is a bodybuilding factor, whereas Shleshmana is the pathological fluid which happens due to the Syandan or Syandkari pathologies. So, Drav and Sneh attributes to their Drav and Sneh are the two main factors of Kapha and Pitta, both. They are responsible for this Kledan and Syandan pathology. And Guru Snigdh Pichil also contribute into the pathology. Whatever the attributes predominant dietary origin or regimental anomaly, day sleep, etc., lack of avoiding periodic purification or sedentary life, all these Drav, Guru, Snigdh, Pichil, Sneh and Drav type of etiological factors, may it be from the diet, may it be from the regimen, may it be from the foods, drug supplements also, then they lead to a discharge, accumulation of the discharge, and with the built up of pitta along with kapha, because drav and sneh gun is also attribute is also present in pit. This aggravated pit leads to the inflammatory process in the srotas and dhatus, and this inflammatory process changes the permeability of the srotas, and this leads to exudation of thick discharge or schleschmal discharge, and which is the cardinal feature of Syandan. So the Syandan type of Samprapti leads to two aggravations, predominantly Kapha, which is followed by Pitta. No doubt, Vat is not spared by it. If this Syandan type of Samprapti leads to Srotavrodh, when the this Kledan is very thick, it causes obstruction of the channels, then it may lead to aggravation of Vata also. But if Pit keeps it into the liquid form and it goes on flowing and exudating from the Srotas or Dhatus, then it does not aggravate Vata, and predominantly Kapha and Pitta are responsible factors in this Samprapti. So these pathological factors, when are led to the eyes through Sira Anusari Vihi Doshai, Jayante Urdhu Bhageshu, when these factors lead to the eye, its structures through the blood channels, vitiation of Ras and Rakt, which is flowing through the Siras, and vitiation of Pith simultaneously happens, gets aggravated by factors its own immediate causes, Sannikrishta Hetu, then of Netra, already prevailing, if there is already prevailing 𝐻 in the any part of the eye, this further vitiation in that part is the pathology built up process, and this Abhishandan Samprapti takes place in the eye. Thus, the clinical picture of cardinal feature of discharge and other clinical features according to the pathological dosh. If pith is in more dominant phase, then burning, then the consistency of the discharge will also change, redness may be there, burning sensation may be there, and pakavastha or suppuration etc. may also be there simultaneously. But if this condition is pith is in a recessive phase, and obstruction of the srotas and dhatu channels is there, then Vata aggravation is there, then there will be no redness, then the discharge will be watery, and the main feature will be due to Srotovrodh will be the pain, and then the Vata Abhishanda type of feature will take place. So Srav, the cardinal feature in Abhishanda Netrog, owes to the Pitta pathology to a variable extent in Srav is brought about by Pritta dosh. So what does this inference be draw from understanding the word Abhishand? By understanding the Abhishandi Samprapti, the inference drawn is Abhishandin Samprapti is thus systemic one, not only ocular or only one structure, number one. Number two, in all ocular structures, it is going on as well. It is not like that when watering or discharge from the eye is there, it is from the ocular surface only. No, it is this type of exudation is taking place in all structures of the eye, being drawn to the eye through siras. When it comes through siras in the eye, the blood channels involve Rakta Visheshan also there by pith aggravation, managing pain, discharge, inflammation of ocular surface, as is done taking Abhishanda Rog as conjunctivitis, only relieves the eye surface symptoms, not the pathology as such. Okay. Further, the further inference which is drawn from this word samprapti and samprapti, abhishandi samprapti, is systemic shodhan, biocleaning, vrachan, nasya, vasti, palliative care, shaman, chikitsa, and ocular therapeutic procedures now seem to be the only route-based remedial treatments. So when it is a systemic one, then you have to go for a systemic treatment. And when you go for the treatment section of Sushruta Uttar Tantra of Vataja Vishand, Pittaja Vishand, Raktaja Vishand, Kaphaja Vishand, all systemic measures are given. This is the reason, because this Avishand Samprapti is not only ocular, it is a systemic Samprapti. Excessive secretions, exudation of Shleshma, Srav not only happen on the ocular surface, the same pathology can also take place in the internal structures of the eye, leading to increased intraocular pressure or inflammatory reaction as adimant like complication leading to irreversible blindness, that is known as Hatha Adimant. Avishandi and Avishandin, a pathological process, can also lead to other pathologies than inflammation, increased IOP by withholding the secretions in the eye through occlusion of the trabecular meshwork. Because this shleshma, which is thick in nature, when this shleshma, this srav, causes obstruction of the micro channels of the angle of the anterior chamber. These channels are known as trabecular meshwork and ultimately leads to Schlemm's canal. Then this obstruction of trabecular meshwork will lead to withholding of the excessive secretion in the eye and thus leading to build-up of the pressure, what we call raised intraocular pressure, or the technical term is glaucoma, which is one type of glaucoma is very near to adhimant, and ultimately that leads to hatha adhimant or irreversible blindness. Not only this abhishandi type of samprapti, when the discharge of shleshma is there, that shleshma is pathological, and that pathological discharge is not contributing to as a nutrient exudates like our cornea and our lens and our vitreous require from the aqueous. That aqueous will not be healthy aqueous because of the abhishandi samprapti, and the nutrient content of that excretion will be very less, or maybe causing pathology, and the nutrition of lens, cornea, vitreous, etc. will also get impaired, and the optical media pathology will develop, because these optical medias mainly are non-vascular, avascular in nature. Furthermore, inference can be the cohesive function of Shleshma also gets affected, as its vitiation is a prime factor in the pathogenesis, leading to detachment like pathologies. Blood channels through which the pathology traverses to the eye also get affected. The ashray dhatu of the dosh and dhatus also get affected, and the integrity of these vasculature, srotas, also get compromised. They also get dearranged, and some occlusal or extravasation of their contents can also take place, and this also leads to some pathological changes which are sometimes irreversible. Thus, this pathology, Abhishand word is given to one disease which is classified further into four due to the discharge. What in the background, this Avishand word holds a complete pathological process which is going on systemically, not in the eye, and thus it is reflecting on the ocular surface as a discharge from the eye, but simultaneously this Avishandi Samprapti is involving the whole body and all parts of the eye. And that's why this quotation is given by Acharya Sushruta, Prayan Sarve Nayanamayastu Bhavanti Avishanda Nimitta Mulaha Tasmat Avishandam Udiryamanam Upcharet Ashu Hitaye Dhiman. So immediately treat, a wise physician should treat Avishand like Samprapti as and when it arises, because if you ignore it, if you don't treat it properly, then almost all eye diseases, I give the exception, traumatic diseases, all eye diseases can happen due to this Avishand, not only Roga, in the background, the Abhishand Samprapti which is going on, that will lead to many more serious complications of the eye, which can also lead to blindness. So why this type of Samprapti is more relevant in ocular pathologies and in eye context? Because in Charak Samhita Sutrasthan, in Swasthvrit section, everyone should use a anjan once in a week. Once in a week, a Sravan anjan or Lekhan anjan must be used by everyone, because Chakshu tejomayam tasya visheshat shleshmato bhayam tata shleshmanam haram karam hitam drishte prasadhanam. So, dear friends and dear students, this is the Shleshma Karam, Tata Shleshma Haram Karam. Here it does not mean that you do procedures which are kafar. No, 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 no. Kaf is the required dhatu of the body. This Shleshma is a pathological Shleshma, which simulates to kapha, but this is pathological Shleshma. This is having watery contents more, sheath content more, drav content more, and our visual faculty, chakshu, it is not eye. Our visual faculty of vision, chakshu indriya, is tejomayam. It acts, it works well under the control of tej or pitta, and these shleshma, qualities of shleshma here, pathological kapha and the tej are quite opposite. Water and fire relation is there in among both of them. If shleshma is increasing in the routine process of our diet regimen and seasonal variation, then this stage will be affected and our visual faculty will not work properly. That's why this shleshma should be kept under control in the particularly in the eyes. If you remove that pathological factor of shleshma, then our chakshu will not be, our visual faculty will not be affected, and it will work very efficiently, and vision will be protected, vision will be promoted, and this preventive, in that way, in a preventive aspect, one time in a week, Rasanjan must be applied in the eyes for the benefit. So that was the reason why Shleshma is more relevant to the pathologies of the eye, because the ultimate aim of this ocular treatment and Netra Visharad, ultimate function of a Netra Visharad is to preserve, promote and protect the vision threatening problems. After managing the ocular surface problems in Avishand Netrog, which may be experienced and noticed as a first presentation, a wise physician should get sensitized himself and also sensitize the patient for further consequences and systemic approach in preventing the further complications of this disease, and this type of samprapti must be taken into consideration. Netra Vishand as a outbreak, as a epidemic, pandemic, etc., may be treated by local treatment procedures, but would be better to take post-local management systemic measures for preventive aspect as well. So, with these words, friend, I have tried my level best to make you understand the Avishand, which is not merely a disease of the eye affecting all parts, but it in the background it gives a lot of message to the Shalakya people that this is a concept, and while treating a patient of Avishand, you have this concept in the background of your mind, and further complications of this pathology can be well managed and prevented. I say prevented, and our role can be much more than that what we are doing today by considering Avishan merely conjunctivitis. Thank you very much.